not authorized previously?
Well, it wasn't authorized, there was no record of this being constructed on the previous plans. The patio was a smaller size.
Okay. I mean, the patio, if you, I mean, you can see it around the picture you've circulated. Immediately next to the house, there are a series of what look like square stepping stones of some sort, nearly square. And then immediately to the north, there's one line of patio stones that look like they're about double that size.
I just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is one size.
Correct.
And these seem like they're bigger.
Right. Okay, they're all coming out.
They're all coming out.
Correct.
And was the entire patio, as you understand it, not legalized previously?
Correct.
It's not just the smaller stones or the larger stones? Okay. If you took the patio as being legitimate, and you looked at the amount of coverage based on that circumstance, then you're decreasing coverage, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Good. Have you had any reaction from neighbors?
No one has objected. The two neighbors I know, Mrs. Lunke probably can speak better than I can, have had no problem with it at all.
Okay. Mr. Boyle on the east side, you would not even see it.
Correct. Because there's a one-story addition.
Yeah. Okay. Comments or questions?
No, sir.
I'm glad you asked the question because I wasn't clear on where the 33 square foot increase came from.
Okay. But the increase, as I say, is compared to what's legal now and what would be legal if we say yes.
Correct.
Okay.
It's actually a decrease from what's there.
Right. Good point.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just for the record.
Based on that presentation and the papers you put in, I'll move the approval of this application.
I'll second that.
Okay, vote to the left?
Yes.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How high are these taxes? Oh, I didn't say that. Mr. Warren, Board of Trustees. Good night. Good night.
Not sure the tax.
Okay, do you have proof of the mailing? Yes, these receipts.
Yes, the owner.
Yeah.
I heard you say this.
Super. Terrific, thanks.
My name is Lizette. Can I talk?
Yes, please, I'm sorry. Go
My
ahead.
name is Lizette Elias. I'm here on behalf of Amy Payne, our client, at 18 North Continent. We're here for two things. We're encroaching into the side yard setback for the HVAC, which we are actually not putting on slabs. We're going to hang them off the wall. We specified very compact, smooth HVAC. They only extend out off the wall 15 inches. Also, there's an existing patio that is not part of the regular service. We've never legalized. It's been there since the house was built. So we are actually going to remove this walk, this landing here, which was for an existing side door that we closed, and this walk. There was a door here that we got rid of, so we don't need that step anymore. So we're removing this concrete wall, and this concrete walk to reduce the amount of impervious surface. So it exceeds 78.7% over the allowable, but only 1% more than the documented. And we're replacing it because it's in really bad shape. Otherwise, it should be purchased. We went to ARB. We got approval for a cedar fence. It's going to be 6 feet high. So we're going to put air conditioners on the side of the house, which has some sound problems there.
Okay, let me deal with the patio and the concrete walk. You got a walk between the house and the garage now.
That's the driveway.
No, I see the shared driveway, but you have something
Oh,
called
this here.
existing walk 68 square feet, that's
Yes.
coming out, right?
Yes,
Okay. And the existing patio immediately to the east of the house, that's all going to be replaced.
yes.
And are you coming farther out into the yard?
We're taking into that concrete wall that's there. So there's two. There's one right in front of the patio, so there's bluestone and then concrete.
Yeah.
And then there's the one that's in the yard. So the new patio is gonna come out to where that existing concrete slab is.
So it's not going farther into the yard than the existing concrete?
No, but the walks are legal. The patio is not. So this walk is legal, but this is not. So that's where we go over by 32 square feet.
Okay, so the concrete is legal,
Yes,
but the bluestone is not,
correct.
and that's what's closest to the house.
Yes.
And we got the same situation. If all of this were legal, you're not increasing coverage at all.
We are by 1%, technically.
Where?
Because when you add up this, oh, right. Right,
If it were all legal, you
Right.
wouldn't be increasing anything. Right.
Okay.
In fact, you'd be reducing, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because you're.
Because you're getting rid of the walkways.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is the Willoughby house, right? It was the Willoughby house?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I just don't see where the air conditioners can go. Show me what you have in mind.
So I printed this out for you. This was part of the planning board submission, which,
Are they different than what we have on our plans? You just said we attached to the wall. Just
Yes.
We have it coming out here, the outside, right? That's what changed.
I don't, as it was explained to me, I think it's different than what's on the drawing here.
So it's gonna go on the wall, on this back wall.
yes.
Oh, I know,
And how
I'm
is it-
sorry, no, I'm sorry, the drawing's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's gonna go right here. This door is closed, there's a window here now, so they're gonna go side by side, right here on the wall.
So why not farther over?
Towards
the center of the house.
Back of the house?
I'm sorry.
Why not more towards the center of the house, like where that yes, basement door is going?
So we have to go back to ARB, but the goal of this patio is that we're gonna have a step down and we're gonna have new French sliders to the patio. Because we closed up this door, so they don't have backyard access right now. So the goal is to put sliders into the new dining room to come out to the patio. They have a little girl.
Okay. And so that door's gone.
This door's gone, there's a window, same window.
Okay.
So the air condensers are gonna be right below it. And then this is a patio with French doors and a bluestone tread stepping down.
Did you get a copy of the email that came from your neighbor to the north at 22?
I did
That's
not.
me.
Oh, okay. You didn't forward it to them?
I forwarded it to you, and I think another neighbor, maybe not to them.
Okay, well, you need to see this.
But it's not changing.
Our concern is that those, oh, okay.
We're not that busy.
All right. I've never been here before, so I don't know the
This is not.
procedures.
Lived in
This
farm
is
life.
the house.
Thank God.
This square is the house, or his. It's the back of the house. Yeah, that's why I was confused even now.
I thought it was 422. Back, that's the way I read the drawing.
Yeah, I did too, and
Why did John points out this is the house. I kept saying, why is this house here?
yeah.
Thank you, it was over here. Okay.
You see the concern?
Yes. So we went into great lengths because, is it your husband that's been to the house a few times?
Yes, yeah.
Her husband has been to the house during the construction and he has expressed this concern with us. And so the client said, do whatever you can to find the quietest, smallest air condensers, and we really truly kept that in mind. She has spent, well, she's going to spend so much more on these air condensers for that. And these air condensers are very quiet. The fence is also gonna protect, and there's also some bushes there. Because they're facing towards the back of the house, I don't think the sound is gonna at all be a concern on that side of the house. The alternative, honestly, at this point, is for them to have window units, which they would end up having, like 4 or 5 window units on that side of the house, and those will leak on the side yard, and they're a lot louder and a lot uglier to look at when you look out the window.
Do you know what kind of units they
Yes, I
are?
have the spec. So it's the Train Low Profile XR16. And this is the unit we're using.
That's the unit. So it's not one. So do you have any information on how loud it is? I know some of these,
It's on.
I will say I do have one of these units at my house in the Cape, and they're very quiet. Sometimes I don't even know they're on.
Is it the same type?
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very quiet. The original unit was gonna be like on a slab, the traditional.
Right, the more gen that is.
like,
That's
very
what I
big.
thought
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
showing us in your original.
No, we certainly took that into consideration in terms of, one, not increasing the impervious surface by putting it, touching on the ground, and actually making it more compact and, reasonable. And I'm sorry, I don't have, up to 17 and up to 10 HSP, making an excellent choice for, I don't think I have the sound with me, but I'm happy to send you that information.
Okay, the planning board issued a decision in this matter in February 6th, with 3 conditions: getting a coverage variance from this board, complying with the items in the February 4th Hahn memorandum. What were those?
There were just a few discrepancies with the drawings, which were corrected and sent to Han, and everything was good there.
That's between you and the planning board.
Yes.
And the third requirement was ensuring that the air conditioners comply with the noise limit in the village code, which will be tested prior to issuing a certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
Okay, so do you know what those, are you aware of what those
Yes.
limits are?
Mhm.
And you're representing us that you're within those limits?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I didn't quite understand why you have to have these 2 units where the door previously was, as opposed to slightly to the south. You know, you could still, my question is, looking at the top right picture,
Mhm.
where you have that door leading what, down to the basement?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that staying?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. As it is now, you would have the 2 units, as we're looking at the picture, to the right.
Mhm.
Why couldn't you have them immediately to the left on that piece of wall right there?
We have, there's 2 of them, and this width is not large enough to have them both side by side.
Could they be one on top of the other?
They could possibly be one on top of the other, yes.
Or how about the sidewall above that garage door? Not the garage, the basement door,
This,
yeah, how about there?
there's a window there. And there's not enough.
Yeah, that would.
Room on that.
wouldn't be big enough.
It's also the location of all the pipes and the plumbing, and this, it's like a whole maze, but this addition here is like, there's like a crawl space underneath it, so it was where we can do that, where here, it's in the ground with the concrete, so it was a little, when it came to construction and getting the plumbing to kind of move it to the side of the house, it was a little tricky in terms of where the mechanical system is in the basement.
So that actually, the variance is only because it's presently non-conforming, right? It's really not going beyond what the building line already has.
Correct.
It's not doing that.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the building line.
Well, it's going to the side yard, right? Because it's already beyond the side yard.
Yes, the
Right,
whole
so-
house is non-conforming.
So it's a classic variance of being no greater than what already is. So apart from us debating the air conditioning units, strict variance discussion, right? Not the noise issues, but where it's located, it's within an area that's already part of the non-conforming space.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
The other thing I want to make a note of is we have to go back to ARB for the sliders. And we thought that.
Those are hamburgers you're talking about, right? Those sliders?
That sounds so good. We had to go back to ARB for that, and I really don't think they'll give us approval if we have these 2 air condensers like right next to these beautiful doors, and we're trying to really keep the house to be, original and, adding the sliders, they're gonna have the same muntin pattern. We're really trying to stay true to this historical house. So we thought keeping them low and keeping them off to the side would be best for the look of the house as well.
Yeah, where are they gonna be in terms of height? Because you're getting rid of that step, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be right, the step is gone and basically at the bottom of that door.
So they're gonna be hanging off the house, but not on a slab? Got it, but low.
Yeah, but look, underneath the window,
And I don't remember, side by side, or?
side by side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of mitigating.
Can you put everything on it or over it as some kind of baffler for the noise without restricting, obviously, the air intake?
Yes,
But
our client is totally open to do that. She said
Wow.
she can, surround it with something or even some bushes,
Mhm.
which we won't know what that is until they're actually in place and, we
I
get.
don't think more of something that the manufacturer makes that might also reduce the sound that goes out. I mean, we could always make that a condition, right?
Yep.
The reasonable steps.
I don't think this unit does because of this particular unit. I know when we looked at the original unit, they had these sound blankets you could put on top,
Right.
but they actually reduced it so nominal and they're so expensive, it didn't even make sense to even purchase that because it was like my one, point or something. So it was, and it's also, the sound is coming this way and the concern is on their second floor. It's way up here. By the time you're at that second story, the sound has been already minimized significantly. Even
Sound
when you
doesn't
go
travel
from.
up, doesn't sound travel up? Sure it does. It does.
But they're also pushing out towards the back.
Okay.
All right. so you-
Mr. Chairman, is this organization concerned with sound? I understand it's an issue, but I thought that we were talking about variances with respect to offsets. And this just extends that variance on the offset on the left side of the house.
Well, the answer is yes, in my view, at least indirectly, because when somebody wants to change the outside of a house by adding anything, including air conditioners,
Right.
you have to take into account what the effect is on the neighbors, including, and sound is one of those effects. So I think it's an issue that we should look. I mean, if you could minimize this or eliminate it by, that's why I was asking the question about moving over near where the door to the basement is, because then you would not be anywhere close to the neighbor to the north.
But as we're walking.
Okay, so the answer to my question is yes, we take into account sound.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
But as we're walking through this, our job is also to get less intrusive alternatives, and I don't think we've come at that, right? We said the window's not a good idea. You can't go on the other side location, so it seems that, and of course they're entitled to their air conditioning units, that really is the only place we
I
can go.
mean, we could pose a condition that it's screened by greenery, which frankly I think would be just as effective as any other kind of soundproofing.
Well, to the extent that a sound barrier reduce measurably, not just the 1 point, but a measurable, you can do that, that you do that, Mr. Chair.
What do you mean by sound barrier?
Well, if they do any, she had indicated that the barriers that they've looked at are expensive.
No, she said that it was the other
It was
unit.
the
Oh, the other
original.
unit. These units do not have that.
They don't have
Yep.
that.
Oh, okay.
They've already been, they're already reduced,
Mhm.
so there's nothing that the manufacturer can provide, but there's certainly, we're open to putting greenery of some sort to cover them, for one, visually, so they look good, and two, for sound.
And would you be saying you would put bushes immediately to the east as well as toward the neighbor's house, number 22?
Yeah, it'll probably wrap, probably be kind of like a U. I mean, they only stick out 15 inches, so I don't think it's gonna be very significant.
How high are they off the grade?
They're 6 inches off the grade.
No, that's the bottom, at the top, how tall are they on together?
They're 30 inches tall.
30 inches, okay.
So it'd be 3 feet up total. Ma'am, you wanted to be heard, would you give your name to?
Yes, I'm Anastasia Dimicelli. My husband Mark is the homeowner. And I'm glad to know that they're not going to be, we were not being familiar with air conditioning. I was envisioning these, the people behind us have the big
We all
round
do.
ones on the
That's
side.
fair.
So knowing that they're smaller and wall hung, of course, and, you know, they're putting a lot of money into this house, they've changed all the windows, I can see them wanting central air. The conditioners will be about as far as that wall, so they are really close to the property line. Now, they're gonna be quiet, you know, the neighborhood is not super quiet anyway, with the trains and all that stuff. But we were concerned that there would, first of all, as I said, it would be the big ones, now they're going to be smaller, and that's it, you know, there's nothing we can do really. But we just wanted to express some concern about that.
Okay. Is it fair to say your concerns are somewhat alleviated by what you've heard tonight?
Well, I'm not the homeowner, my husband is, so he probably will be happy to know that they're going to be smaller, but, you know, we can't stop anything from happening anyway.
Well, you can always make your point and object.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you could do. Okay.
But are these going to be suitcase-sized things, or, yeah?
Yeah.
And actually, it's gonna be noisy in their yard too. When you're in their backyard, which is not big, they're just gonna be right over there. So the homeowner is going to be hearing them too.
Seems fair.
Yes.
Okay. I wish we had found another place for these, and then we wouldn't have.
There's
this
really
issue.
nowhere. It's a very small house. They've got the garage, the basement door, then they're gonna put a patio, sliding doors where you were gonna put a deck, and now it's just a patio. The only other place would be maybe on the side, but the house is about there from our property. The property line is really close, so
Right there,
it's just
yeah.
a difficult situation in these little houses that are close together in town, you
Yeah.
know?
That's why the numbers are so high
Yeah.
to begin with.
We have houses behind us that have these units, but they're, you know, as far away as Dutch or not the next street up or something.
Right.
So it's just something that happens. But,
Okay.
so I'll let him know that they're going to be smaller, and I'm sure there'll be a little bit of noise, but what can you do?
Okay, thank you. I think given all of this, I will move to approve the application on the condition that the smaller units as represented are going to be used, that you comply, as the planning board also required, that you comply with the village noise code, and that you surround by bushes or something equivalent in what I will call a U shape, surround these air conditioners so that they are shielded both from the property to the north and from the back of your own property. You understand that? Okay, I will send you a letter that says this, assuming we vote and somebody agrees with me. Do I have a second?
Yes,
Okay, vote from the right, John? Yes. Yes, yes,
yes.
okay. Can I have an email back? Yes. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. And thank you to Amy for looking into this. I know my husband expressed his
I
concern.
think you'll be very happy with her.
Yeah, we're not-
She's such an exceptional person. She's really taking great effort to make it
It's a difficult situation. It's the first house on the block that's been a gut and redo, so it's a bit of
hopefully
a...
more to come, I hope.
I hope
The
not.
neighborhood needs it.
I hope.
But no more coverage variances, right? None of those?
No.
Okay.
None of,
Thank you.
thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
I,